What's going on, everybody? Welcome to your daily astrology horoscope for Thursday, September 12th, 2024. Astrologer Brian Scarborough here, fixed air moon, keeping the collective fixed on astrology. Appreciate you all. Hope everybody's doing well. Coming off that hump day, and now we're here on Jupiter Day, Thursday. So let's see what's up with Jupiter. We do have the Sun and Jupiter finishing their exact square, still in square, but we have kind of seen the apex of that square on this Jupiter day as the Sun's passing it. So definitely high energy, but there's a strong maturity that needs to be found today with the moon in Capricorn. Virgo season, final day of Mercury, post retrograde shadow period. So definitely dialing in energy. I think that we're seeing there is a lot of expanse we can identify. We might not be able to do anything and everything at this exact moment, but I think with so much mental energy in the chart still, there's definitely a lot of good ideas, especially with Mercury finishing up here and coming out, and some of the downloads from yesterday. There's definitely a lot of ideas floating around. And again, moon in Capricorn, it's kind of like what you want to do with ideas. Do you want to work for them? Do you want to dedicate to certain things? What's going to make your personal life feel a little bit more, I don't know, purposeful sometimes. Little things can, it's like the little things really do add up. They really do count, especially in Virgo here, paying attention to a lot of things. There's a lot of detail in life right now. And there's a lot of these changes going on, but there's this big initiation. And I don't know, I feel like fortune kind of favors the bold right now, and people who are kind of stepping into a very mature sense of what they're identifying and what they're ready to do, and I feel like that does take a strong emotional maturity, emotional resilience. And if you're feeling that, I think that's a really good step for people right now. If you're not feeling that, it's the little things you can do to feel like you can, right? And to stay on the game. And I know that even the moon in Capricorn, it's detriment position for the moon. So, we don't want to suppress our feelings. We want to definitely trust our feelings and trust our knowings and trust our intuition and make positive action. That moon's going to start off the day in quite the position here, opposite Mars and a big T-square with Mars, the moon, and the nodes. I don't like that line. So definitely big T-square energy. Cardinal square, which is very initiatory. So if there's one thing right now, it's initiation. And that's where Mars here, the moon and Mars are in a little bit of a reception too, which I think does make this better, right? The moon would rather be in Cancer, and Mars would rather be in Capricorn, where it's exalted. The moon obviously is dignified in Cancer. So it's definitely helping the situation, but the moon's still pretty wrecked. So could start off the morning definitely feeling very suppressed from the action that needs to be taken, right? But I think this Jupiter Sun is definitely trying to kind of break us free a little bit, kind of send us into another gear of the journey. And I do believe we want to be confident for that next gear while still recognizing and, responsibly using certain energy and emotions right now without holding back. But, a lot of this is relationship oriented. There's so much, there's such a desire right now for balance and things to be very harmonious. And, we're coming up on eclipse season. We're definitely feeling, especially with this square. Mars is such an initiator, and as we're just 2 weeks away from the lunar eclipse that'll be in Pisces, it's woohoo. Actually, we're 6 days away. So, not even. September 17th. So, this is definitely getting a lot of things started. So, just embrace the new chapter, right? Embrace the change, embrace the start. We kind of got to suck it up. The first thing that came to mind after I said that was suck it up, buttercup. We just got to push, It is a certain level of resilience that's important right now. And it can definitely feel hard. It can definitely, there could be anger that gets brought up, but there can also be a level of passion that is like really useful right now. So you just got to put your emotion into something that you do believe in yourself. You got to believe in yourself to go after things, to accomplish certain things that you're setting out for, and to not just hope that magically balance and harmony will show up in life, or that a person that you want will show up in life, or any sort of external relationship is just going to be the thing that's going to bring so much beauty and, you know, happiness into life. It's really taking a stand for yourself, putting up good, healthy boundaries because you've identified a way and you're going to make that way work and you're going to stay on the path. And this isn't necessarily a time to, veer off the path, because I think that'll just bring up, you know, emotions that are not going to be helpful either. So it's important to be responsible right now. Whatever's showing up in your life is definitely asking you to make decisions. It wants you to identify the proper procedure for yourself. Almost like writing yourself a prescription. Like you kind of get to be the doctor for your life right now, and you need to be responsible and write the right prescription based on the diagnosis of what you've come across in your life. And not be afraid to give yourself what you need. So, and to give yourself the time too. Like nothing has to just, I feel like a lot of this energy is very abrasive, like it's feeling very now-ish. And nothing has to happen overnight. It's a process. It's just like step-by-step stuff. And we've talked about this on the channel, of course, often lately, and I do believe that still applies. So we got to see where the passion's taking us and where we're emotionally driven and where we're emotionally very connected, and we want to, stay the path and double down on those things, and the things that we're, obviously aren't getting the result that we're looking for or seeing the purpose in it. Like, don't double down on that stuff, especially if it's bringing you frustration. Like today could definitely start off with some frustration, especially if you don't know and you're like searching for a knowing and you don't know. It's okay to not know too, but there's still some feeling. There's got to be, you got to channel some drive into something important for yourself right now. And whether it's just the littlest thing to something big for some people, it's staying the course and not getting too far off course. And not feeling like if you're off course, you can't get back on course, because you can, but you got to pull out your own moral compass right now and dial that thing in and be honest about where you're at. And instead of, being too hard and crucial on yourself or something else in the world, because now you're off course, I'm off course, oh God, it's something else's fault. And no, we have to take responsibility in a healthy, constructive way for self-improvement. And that's something that's very important. And that moon will trine Mercury in the morning too. So, there's plenty of good things going on. We even have Mercury and Mars in a sextile today. So I think a lot of it is like there's practical solutions to everything. It's just we still have to step up and take action for practical solutions. We can't just let, things get us all emotional and sweep us away into, some purgatory of a void of confusion, or, not feeling like we have enough authority to make a change in our life. We really want to I do have the tools and the authority and the power and the drive to do things right now. So I think it's really an identification thing in every sense of the way. Identifying the necessary changes are so crucial right now, and they're going to be so different for everybody. So that's where I just hope people reflect right now on the little changes that will make a difference, and to do things about it, and to not just do and repeat, habits and certain things over and over again when you know that it's just giving you a result that is not bringing satisfaction, but ultimately just bringing more frustration. We need to be careful about that, because it's almost like, oh, I'm so frustrated. Something just come save me, come fix me. And it's not time for something to come save and fix. It's time for us to really clean house on the things that aren't working, so that we can double down on the things that are working or that there is passion and drive for. Venus is crossing Eros, and even with the moon opposite Mars, a lot of like passion energy there. And I think that again it's identifying your values with what you're passionate about and wanting to put effort and work and wanting to like stay steady on the course and wanting to, have good healthy relationships that are built on two identities supporting one another on their journey and not relying so much on another energy to be this sort of savior either, but to have that like beautiful love that's really just ultimately supportive. Because I think there's so many changes going on collectively with people. Like it's pretty, you're going to see, and you probably already have seen with relationships, like a lot of them aren't working out and a lot of them are going different ways. And then you see the ones that are very individuated. Like there's two individuals that love and support each other. And like we all grow and we all change. And that's how you know the people that are meant to be in your life, is because when change happens, they support your change and they cheer you on. And they don't try and, deter you from the growth that's happening in life. And like the people that just want to keep you stuck in their own misery are the ones that hold you back from change. Because they're too scared to make a change in their life or to identify with something that's unique to them. Or that, again, maybe this even like their way's the only way. And that's just not gonna get people very far right now. We all have a unique way. We all have a unique identity. And people that support people's unique identity are working out great. And the ones that don't, like, there's a major sort of separation. So, and that could be something that we have to be emotionally mature about too. So we have to like look at our responses to a lot of things right now and be very like, I should probably take the higher road here. We don't have to like roll around in the mud with people, right? Just because we get triggered emotionally, or we feel like somebody's holding us back for something. It's like self-accountability, self-responsibility, and not pointing fingers, but taking the high road for yourself. Doing something that over time is going to be something you're passionate about, something that you're emotionally very connected to, and something that you feel is bettering yourself so that you have the capability to be better for others too. Because you got to give to yourself first. I think we're at a big lesson for that, is like really remembering how important taking care of ourselves is, and how important it is to nurture and love ourselves and appreciate and take responsibility for change and growth. Because it's a good thing to grow. There's no growth when we're stagnant. And it's definitely not a stagnant time. And you can see the people that are hanging on for like stagnation are just probably at a doozy a little bit, By the end of the day, the moon will sextile over to Saturn in Pisces. And yeah. I mean, it's more of what I've already talked about. Like, it's just, I've kind of already like channeled the aspect, if you will. But staying on our game, being emotionally responsible, taking that high road, being resilient, putting our emotions into physical effort that can produce results, that can produce, not even produce, but just get us closer to certain goals or self-improvement things, or things that we just, it could be so small too. Like, I don't want people to think that we all have to, be this, amazing sort of thing. I think we're all amazing, but everybody's got a unique path. It's just finding yours and staying on your path. And not trying to be someone else or please someone else. But being in like a really good place of self-integrity, and really, I think, knowing your worth and your value, and being passionate for what you value and what's good for you. And these are all the things that are amazing, as we're starting to see even Venus start to oppose Chiron coming up. So, yeah, a lot of relationship stuff coming up. A lot of like even money issues. Feeling like our values aren't good enough. I mean, there's things that are, we're definitely in like a little, there's a lot of healing treatment going on right now around just acquiring our own abundance and not being afraid to assert ourselves for more of what we want, more of what will make our life better, more beautiful, more balanced. But ultimately, just knowing our worth and knowing that we definitely can't settle for less because of a societal standard or something in the world that, somehow conditioned us to think we're less. Like this is a purification process of a lot of deconditioning to, I think, reconditioning ourselves to a much more true and authentic version of ourselves, which has its trials and tribulations as we kind of go through a deconditioning process and even relearning new ways to, in some ways, parent and nurture ourselves right now and kind of. And I know a lot of us are, many people who watch this channel, probably have kids and maybe even grandkids. I think the analytics, the most people that watch this channel are between like 35 and 45. But it's interesting to think just collectively, like how we're all having to like really step up and identify where we need to step up and be emotionally okay with it and not get triggered by it and not be, so sensitive that we don't want to do it or we can't like clam up right now. Like we just got to go for it. From the little things to the big things, wherever you're at in life. You got to find a lot of emotional resilience. And, I said earlier, but it is kind of like we have to kind of suck it up, buttercups. And I feel it too. There's pressure from all different angles in life right now. And, it's hard to keep up in this society where it's at right now and this economy, especially in the United States. And I'm sure other parts of the world too, but it's not, by no means is it an easy task right now. And I think that we have to embrace challenges and be good with putting in effort and work to accomplish things and to, I think, if anything, like really show ourselves that we can. So if we're proving anything to anybody, it's proving it to yourself that you can. If you really put your passion and energy into something, you really can. And that's one of the greatest gifts of humanity, and one of the greatest things that we have is when we really find something passionate that our soul and our mind and our body, that everything is very tapped into, that the possibilities are endless if we're willing to keep at it. So we're getting like a little belief tested on if we believe in ourselves and if we're going to stay the course. And I hope that we stay the course. I hope we all do who watch this channel, and myself included. That's something that I pray for all of us is like, let's stay the course. Let's go after it right now, because it can feel crushing a little bit. But it can also feel so rewarding. And that's what is the other beautiful thing about Saturn and Capricorn. Is it's not Jupiter, which everybody thinks is Santa Claus and just has this big bag of gifts and showers us. Jupiter just gives us a bunch of shit. Just throws the whole bucket of everything at us. And we can kind of like find our belief and like what's good in there and like run with it. But it's so much. It's an expansive, big energy. It's like, whoa. Where Saturn is much more dialed, and it's like, you earned this. You earn the trophy, the reward, the salary, the bonus. That's all Saturn. So it's important to keep our eyes on certain prizes in our life right now, not lose hope, not lose determination, but to stay on the grind and to know that the changes that we're making ultimately are helping us get to bigger goals and helping us shape different things that we're trying to make happen and to get to a better, just another level in our own lives. So definitely a lot is going on Thursday. I hope you guys all have a great Thursday. Just rambling. Been rambling this week. Been definitely putting out some longer horoscopes. But there's a lot of moving parts. It's like I feel like, yeah, it's just easy to get lost in it. Anyways, we'll see what the card is for today. The Hermit. Another major arcana. Hmm. Interesting Hermit card. Badass tarot. I pulled this card before, but this time it's just like, how do I relate this to what I just talked about? I'll come back to that. Four of Wands. This is a little bit more like it. A little bit more of, I think, knowing how to put our energy in action towards the things that we do want, that are going to make us feel good, sovereign, independent, free. And I think also knowing how to trust our intuition and really look at ourselves in a beautiful way and feel very pure and beautiful and clean in our identity of what we want. And I think, what are our desires? What are our desires, right? Because I think if we're getting all philosophical and dialed in on the wrong things right now, we got to really make sure our focus is shifted on priorities and things that are important, and probably not waste our time or our resources and our toilet paper on things that are just a quick dopamine hit, that aren't providing any real substance into our lives. So I think everything's very correlated to finding substance in our life and making sure that we're really dialed in and putting our energy into something that's more along the lines of making you feel, my autofocus is not good today. Something more like this. A little bit more in the zone, in the flow, in the comfort of your own being and identity and your creative efforts and authority. And I just don't think there's a lot of room for being sloppy right now. So try to stay on it, stay proactive, and try to make really good decisions for yourself. And try to think about like what your future self would say about the decision you're making today. And doing the wiser thing will go a long way today. I love you guys. I appreciate you. I hope you have a great Thursday, and I'll see you all tomorrow. Much love. Peace.